guys, welcome back to All Day RC. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the bell button for notifications. Okay, so on the bench today we have all the parts laid out for another X-maxx build. So this one, unlike the Ultimate X-maxx and the Hulk-maxx that I built that are designed for bashing, this one is going to be able to be bashed, but this is going to be almost a shelf queen. Not quite, because I'm not fully into shelf queens, but this will be a bit of a showpiece, to be honest, to show what you can do with some of the parts. So all the parts are pretty much the same as the Hulk-maxx, except at the minute I have stock wheels and tyres. That's all I've got available. Set of Integrity shocks again. This is having a 5th scale steering servo in it. Undecided whether I'm going for mod 1 or mod 1.5 gears yet. I'll probably decide as I go on, because it's having a stock motor. It's having a Max 5 ESC, although it doesn't need it, but I've got one of them on the shelf, so I might as well use it. Okay, so these arms, these knuckles, these are all the same as the Hulk-maxx. These are the same as the Ultimate X-maxx. These are different, these top arms, so you can adjust your wheel camber, which is interesting. Don't know how strong they'll be, and I probably won't find out because I won't bash it hard enough. Now the main difference is this bad boy, the Kershaw Designs low CG chassis. This is what I've been waiting for a while. I've also been waiting to get the Hulk-maxx build out of the way, so I can start this now. There's a few of these knocking about now. I've seen quite a few people have started to put them together, which is good. I've not seen too many breakages, with the exception of the bulkheads or the front and rear parts of the chassis where these attach. I'm thinking about strengthening that, so we'll see as we go. Now the other thing that's different is these highly polished Atomic RC skid plates. So these were sent off to a polisher and polished up. I know they're going to get scratched and not last 5 minutes. I purchased these second hand, but brand new from somebody who abandoned their project. Yeah, other than that, full set of Ultimate Engineering pins going in, because they're amazing. But I won't do step by step. I won't bore you with the build on this one. I'll probably time lapse it. I'll probably film putting this together properly, because I think someone, a couple of you guys, you might be interested in that. And then I'll just chuck the rest together, and I'll show you it when it's done. And more importantly, we'll go send it off a few jumps. Okay, so this is the completed build using the Kershaw chassis. So I'm running an unbreakable body, with a wrap from Darkside Studios. At the minute I'm running stock wheels and tyres because I had a set kicking about. And we'll take the body off. And I'll show you what we're running inside. Okay, so I'll just firstly go through the reason that body was quite hard to unhook is I've added this brace on the front and I need to make some adjustments to it. I just need to take these edges in slightly. So this is a front shock tower brace, as well as given better location for the shock limiters. So the shock limiters do seem to work quite well, but one downside was this top part here. It had such a big standoff, and because it's threaded into plastic, you had significantly more poking out than you did in. So where these were attached onto the outside, it was acting as a bit of a fulcrum and pulling that down, and they were basically pulling that here fairly easily and damaging the threads. So what we've done is we've taken that in. You've got enough clearance still easily for the shocks. Even when you're compressed, you're fine. And then what's that done? You've now got this isn't going to pull down at all because it's sharing the load across to the other side. You also got more thread in than you have out. So anyone that's running these, I recommend. It's a good mod to do. Just a cheap bit of alley bar, and then I just cut it down inside here just to fit over the tower. And the same here, this is to fit the cage with the body in, but the cage comes in thin and gets wider, so I need to cut these in to allow for that thin part. That's why I'm having to lift the front of the body off. Not that that's an overly bad thing. Okay, so I'm running a high-tech steering servo. It's the D845 full 5th scale waterproof high torque servo. If you're running your BC from your ESC at sort of 7 volts, 7.4 volts, then you're going to be getting 50 kilos out of this thing. So it's absolutely insane. So I had two options for my side bars with the Kershaw chassis. These are the metal ones. I also got a set of plastic ones. To be honest, it's just a case of might as well get them at the time. I put the metal ones together because I think they look nicer. I think for bashing, the plastic ones might be slightly better, but you know, we'll find out in time. Okay, so one thing I've done so far is I've got this bolt coming in through the bottom, coming to this plate here. Now, what I've done is I've ordered a long enough bolt to come all the way up to here, right up through here, and bolt through here, so it's one solid bolt each side. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think that was about 55 mil, so quite long. So I've had to order them especially, but I just think that's going to add a little bit more rigidity to it, rather than just bringing one up. I mean, the one that there was nothing in the kit that was long enough to actually come up and bolt on anyway, and it's the same at this front end here. They're not long enough, so I'm going to bring them up. I'm going to bolt them in place. I'm probably going to put a metal brace in there as well, just again to share the load like I've done at the front. Overall, I think it's come out really nice. So you don't need a mounting plate for your SC. So this has got a Max 5 in here, and it just simply double-sided tape straight onto the mounting plate. You could also mark and drill the mounting plate, but this really, I'm not going to be giving this the same sort of abuse that I give my other trucks, so I think that that's adequate. So at the minute we've got a stock motor set up. For this, I think I'm going to get more than good enough performance out the stock motor. The stock motor connects in exactly the same way that it does because you got the stock front part of the chassis here, so that's absolutely fine. Now I've added this top brace in. Most people haven't, because you have these little standoff legs coming down here that screw in. Yeah, okay, so there's nowhere for them to screw in, so I've simply lopped them off, put this brace in to help brace the front and rear of the car. I'm also going to make up some metal bracing to go across each side, because I've seen online some people had problems with weak areas down here, but it's not. This isn't the weak point. It's the fact that all this tower is been allowed to move. But this is certainly it's not going to hinder it. It's definitely going to help in some form. So I'm running these Integi V4 shocks. The only significant problem with these shocks is at the bottom here. You need to take off the rod end and replace it with a stock Traxxas rod end, because the rod ends just snap. The first time you have a bad landing or anything, they're just gone. So I've got no head and rear lights on this at the minute, purely because I've got none in stock. So I shall probably order some and put them on. I'm also not running under chassis lights, but I'm not planning to either. So I've got the Integrity metal arms all the way around. I've got the Mad Max or GPM steering links here, so I've got adjustable toe. I've also got adjustable camber on the upper arms here, which is nice. You're not going to be able to see them, so you're going to have to take my word for it, unless you can see a little bit of gold in here. I'm running the Unlimited Engineering hinge pins all round. I run these in one of my other trucks. Absolutely superb. Really cannot fault them at all. On the back, I'm just missing a rear bumper brace here because I didn't have one in stock. So it's kind of the only bit I'm missing. But I am running an RPM rear bumper support. I'm running a stock front bumper support at the minute, but I'm either going to replace that with RPM, or I'm going to put a full T-bone racing bumper on, like we got down here on this one. So we'll just sort of see how it goes when I use it. It'll probably get upgraded with Mad Max land grippers as well, because that's the best wheel tyre combination on the market. So we have a little look on the underneath and see what we've got going on. As you can see, it's quite pretty from underneath. These are Atomic RC skid plates that have been polished up, and then the Integrity arms that are just huge. It all flows nicely into this Kershaw chassis. Now I haven't given this a polish, but I've given this a very light sand with some extremely fine wet and dry paper, just to give it a bit of a better finish. It does come with a little bit of a rough finish, as you can see in there, and all the hubs, hub carriers, steering knuckles as well, all those nice Integrity ones. I've also got a set of my CVD boots on there. You know, ping me a message if you guys fancy them. I'm going to be stocking them again. They do seem quite popular. And I'm running a Dark Side Studios chassis wrap. Not overly impressed with this chassis wrap, to be honest. It's white armoured vinyl that's printed, and then a clear laminate put over the top to give it protection. It's going to be really hard to see on the video, but the print quality is very, very poor. It barely looks like carbon, and it's extremely fuzzy, where the print quality has been reduced, probably to print them quicker or save money on ink. So the rest of the Dark Side Studio stuff, great. So the body, you know, the wraps, fantastic. I've got one on the way for my daughter's build, but this, not so sure of. It's going to be hard to see because of the light, but in here, that's a carbon wrap, available from Paul Clark. If you check out my Facebook page, All Day RC, you'll find him on there, and he's selling them. I'd kind of prefer them, but there we have it. It's a sort of completed build, as it were. Any questions, let me know. Highly recommend this chassis. Very, very good. Nice to put together. Comes with everything that you need. The instructions are clear and concise. You just need to remember that you have to use a 5th scale servo with this, and you have to check your dimensions to make sure it fits. Also, when you are building this yourselves, guys, loose fit everything and then tighten it all up together. Don't tighten the bolts up as you put them in, because you just won't be able to assemble it. You need to get all the tolerances correct, front to rear, including getting these in as well, each side. You need to get everything in, loose fit, couple of turns, and then you need to bolt it all down bit by bit, making sure everything's nice and level, and making sure that all your threads are okay. I'd also say it's worth having a couple of extra bolts and nuts on hand, especially the receiver box is fitted under there. I've fitted that a little bit differently to the instructions, just use some different bolts and things. So that's something else, just to make sure you've got things on hand so it's not hindering you time-wise when you come to do the actual build. So, right guys, hope you liked that. I shall have some running videos of this up soon, hopefully, when the weather improves, it's absolutely chucking it down non-stop at the minute. But if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel and hit that bell button for notifications of my future videos so you don't miss out on things like this, because this will be getting bashed. Just, you know, it's not going to be my go-to basher. And if you haven't done so already, check out some of my previous videos, tutorials, and hopefully they're helpful to you. Thank you very much, guys.